Our film begins with Neil and her older sister Eva, who live with their father Robert in a house in the forest. One day, breaking news appears on TV about massive power outages across the country. Neil, who is preparing for her university exams, suddenly loses electricity at home and has no light to study. She goes to her father's car outside and takes a flashlight, but she's distracted and returns without noticing that she left the car door open and the interior light on. The next day, the family decides to go to the city to get fuel and food. But the car battery is dead because the light stayed on all night. Neil realizes her mistake, but it's too late. Robert goes to the garage, gets a spare battery, and installs it. Eva helps him start the engine, but the car still won't start. Neil turns on the radio to check for updates about the outage while Robert and his daughters try pushing the car, but it's useless. The situation gets worse when the radio signal disappears at night, leaving the family in complete isolation for days. On the 10th day of the outage, Robert manages to generate electricity using a power saw, which makes the family happy, and they immediately head to the city. On the way, they notice many people have left residential areas, and all gas stations are empty. They go to a supermarket and meet an employee named Stan, who is cautious and armed. Once he realizes the family poses no threat, he allows them to buy ready-made food and even gives them candles for free. The family then goes to a gas station to refuel, but there is no fuel. Suddenly, they encounter a dangerous gang on motorcycles about to rob them. Robert reacts quickly, drives away, and takes a safer route. He later drops Eva off, goes to check on his friends, and Neil goes to meet her boyfriend Eli. The family splits up until nightfall, and when it gets late, they all head back home. On the way, they encounter a mysterious car stopped in the road. Robert gets out to offer help, but the people inside threaten him with a weapon. He quickly returns to the car and drives away, worried about his daughter's safety. The next day, Robert tells his daughters that no one will go to the city again until the electricity comes back. Neil gets angry and behaves rudely with her father because she can't see her boyfriend, while Eva is more mature, understands the situation, and helps her father by giving him tools to cut trees for wood. Robert goes into the forest and starts using the chainsaw, but while cutting a tree, an accident happens. The saw slips and badly injures his leg. The girls hear their father screaming, rush out of the house, and run into the forest searching for him. When they find him, his leg is severely damaged, and it's too late to save him. Before dying, he tells his daughters to take care of each other. Robert dies, and the girls cry, hugging each other, staying beside him all night, not knowing what to do. While they're lying next to their father, they hear the sounds of wild animals and wake up terrified. At sunrise, Eva brings tools from the house, and together they dig a grave to bury their father. They return home late at night, overwhelmed with grief, crying together over his loss. 2 months pass without electricity. The girls' breakfast becomes just one egg each and a cup of water. Eva can't stand not being able to practice her favorite hobby, dancing to music from an old tape player. She decides to use one of the 5 liters of fuel they have left to power a generator so she can play music. However, Neil stops her, insisting they must save their resources for emergencies. Eva gets angry and locks herself in her room so Neil can't enter. Unfortunately, a wild animal appears at their farm and eats the last 2 chickens they had. The next morning, Neil goes to collect eggs but finds only feathers and realizes a wild animal has taken them. She feels devastated and goes to tell Eva what happened, but Eva ignores her and refuses to talk. At lunchtime, Neil waits a long time for her sister to eat with her, but Eva takes her plate and eats alone, leaving Neil by herself. That night, Neil has a terrifying nightmare. She wakes up frightened, searching for her sister. Eva hears her screaming, rushes to her, wakes her up, and hugs her until she calms down. One night, heavy rain pours down, causing the roof to leak inside the house. Neil starts wiping the water dripping from the ceiling and finds a plastic egg with a piece of chocolate inside. She calls her sister, but Eva doesn't respond. So Neil, without hesitation, eats the chocolate by herself, enjoying it since it's the first time she's had sweets in months. Suddenly, Neil hears her sister's footsteps. She quickly hides the chocolate wrapper back inside the plastic egg. Eva appears, upset, and insists on using the fuel to run the generator so she can dance to music, as she can't stand the silence any longer. Neil tries to comfort her and gives her the plastic egg. When Eva opens it, she finds only a piece of gum inside. She starts talking with her sister, but then notices the chocolate wrapper and asks what it means. She realizes Neil ate the chocolate alone, and the 2 sisters start arguing. Suddenly, someone knocks on the door. The sisters become cautious and anxious. Eva approaches the door, while Neil stands behind her holding a rifle. It turns out to be Eli, Neil's boyfriend, who has been walking for days just to check on her. The next day, Neil and Eli go to the treehouse her father built in the forest, where they spend some pleasant time together. Eli tells her that life in Boston is going on normally and tries to convince her to go with him. Neil agrees, and they go to Eva to persuade her to come along. However, Eva believes it's just a rumor and that the situation in Boston is no different from theirs. She tells Neil she understands her decision and that she can go alone if she wants. Neil packs her bag and says goodbye to her sister, who is clearly upset, then leaves the house with Eli. But later that night, during the journey, Neil decides to return home. She says goodbye to Eli and leaves him, unwilling to abandon her sister. When Eva sees Neil coming back, she hugs her tightly, overwhelmed with joy. By the 6th month of the blackout, Neil and Eva start searching for useful and medicinal plants. They use a book about plants and begin collecting edible ones. At night, Neil is happy and decides to surprise her sister. She uses some of the fuel to fill the generator, and the electricity comes back on in the house, although there's still no phone signal. Despite that, the sisters spend a nice time together, watching their family memories. Eva finally gets to dance to music again, even if only for a short while before falling asleep. While Eva is asleep, Neil takes the opportunity to move the remaining fuel into another barrel. Later, Eva wakes up and goes to the front yard, chopping wood with an axe, while Neil is in the forest gathering plants. Suddenly, Stan, the supermarket worker, shows up at the house. He moves around Eva, then attacks her, knocks her to the ground, and assaults her. Afterward, Eva struggles to open her eyes and sees Stan stealing the fuel barrel and escaping in her father's car. When Neil returns, she finds her sister lying on the ground, not moving. Terrified, she cries over what happened, carries her inside, and realizes the danger they're in. Neil fortifies the house, blocking all entrances with wood to prevent intruders. She secretly keeps some fuel, runs the generator, and plays music to comfort Eva. Eva is confused because she thought Stan had stolen all the fuel, but Neil changes the subject and jokes with her, deciding to keep it a secret so Eva won't waste the fuel. 8 months into the blackout, Neil searches for any remaining food and finds a note with her name on it. She gets excited and tells Eva that their father must have left it for emergencies, but it turns out to contain only pumpkin seeds. Feeling disappointed, Neil decides to plant them in the yard. While digging, she falls and hurts her back. Eva hears her screaming. Still traumatized from the assault, she hesitates at first, but then finds the courage to help her sister. That same day, Eva realizes she's pregnant as a result of the assault. Neil is shocked when Eva decides to keep the baby, but Eva says she doesn't want to lose anyone else. After 15 months without electricity, Eva's pregnancy progresses. Neil does her best to learn how to deliver the baby. She protects her sister, staying outside with a rifle to guard the house. One day, a storm hits and destroys part of the roof. Eva goes into labor, and Neil takes her to the treehouse where they used to play as children. There, Neil helps her sister give birth to a baby boy. When they return to their damaged home, Eva decides to burn it down so that anyone who sees it will think they died in the fire. Before setting it ablaze, they gather their belongings and photos. Then they burn the house and head into the dark forest, deciding to travel with the baby to the city of Boston.